What's up guys, I'm PawsBuild, and in this series we're going to be building a beautiful medieval village in the early access release of the game Manor Lords, whilst also fending off merciless hordes of bandits and raiders. This series has started following the huge update that the devs have already made to the game, so I can't wait to dive in and I hope you enjoy. Welcome back to our little Pawstown. Isn't it so cute? I love it. And if we zoom out as well on the map, you can see that our little town is on there. And it's filling out a bit more, so it's looking like a bit more of an actual town. The next thing we want to do in our town is to make some money. And the main reason we want to do this is because the raiders are near. We've got 216 days to prepare for the raider attack. And currently, we only have 20 large shields and 20 spears. So at a maximum, we can have 20 warriors to defend ourselves. And I don't know how many raiders they're going to throw at us. At some point in the game, we are going to be able to produce these weapons ourselves, but that's a bit too far away, and for now, the best way to get them is going to be through trade. If we look in construction, we can see there is a trading post. This is a building we are going to want to get this video, however, not right now, because we don't even have anyone to actually man it. For now, we've got 6 living spaces, so we have a free house, and we've only got 5 families. We need to make sure that other people are attracted to our village, and hopefully someone will move in very soon. We could expand our village even more actually, which I think we might do to give even more space for newcomers, because we have 88 firewood now. I don't think we need too much more. That's probably fine for now. So I'm going to take the family off of the woodcutters lodge and leave them as builders, and then we can start building some more houses. We've got 4 timber, so we can definitely build 2 more houses. So let's just build a couple of houses along here. And I think I'm going to build these around the well here and have them have decent sized gardens. Getting some interesting plots if we do it like this. I quite like that though. Yeah, they've got some reasonable workshop areas at the back for expansion. So that's going to cost all of our timber that we have, but we can always move this family to do logging if we do run out. And we've just got a new family. Perfect. We've just got a new family move in, so we have 2 construction families right now. We definitely need to get these up quickly. I'm going to let this all time lapse so we can enjoy watching these 2 new houses being built. There we go. What a beautiful plot. I love it. The asymmetry is something I'm a big fan of. And they look great, don't they? The actual houses. Now, there is actually a feature we haven't used in the game yet, which is still very much, there's warnings around it. Expect glitches, but we can actually visit our town. So if we click this button, we have now spawned into the town and we can walk around and go see our fellow villagers, which I think is so cool. And obviously the best use of this feature is to check out our little Herman. Look at him. Such a good boy. He's doing a good job for our town. I would like to get more ox if possible, because having 1 isn't necessarily ideal, and we do have more families now. So if we get one of our families going on the logging camp, we can get some more timber, and that will let us build the next building that I want to get, which is the Sawpit. And this building turns timber into planks, which are kind of like the next step up in the construction materials. More of the advanced buildings use planks instead of timber to be built from. So it's definitely an essential building, and we're going to want to whack it right next to our logging camp, because they're going to drag the logs that are stored here into the camp to use them. So we don't want it to be too far. It's quite a good idea, I think, to have the hitching post or a stable nearby the logging camp, because all the ox are really used for is dragging the logs right now. And it makes no sense to have them sleeping somewhere really far away from where they work. So if I put it in ×4 speed, let's put 2 families on here and let them both start logging, because I think we have plenty of trees around here and they're doing a pretty good job of making some logs for us. I also really like that the logs get stored on site and you can see visually how many logs you have, as well as seeing, oh, we've got 2 timber here. There must be one that they're dragging. Oh yeah, there's one there. But it's nice to see that they'll have like a stack of, like, let's say like 12 logs, and you'll be able to count them here as well, which I find really cool. And the game is very beautiful at night. There are a few on each side, but most of you wanted the day and night cycle. And I can understand because it is really beautiful. Like, look at that. Look at the stars. That's pretty cool. Okay, we've got 6 timber now. I think that's pretty good. So we can take one of our families off and assign them to build the saw pit. And I am just going to put that right next door there so they can build that. And you can already see why this building is called the saw pit from the massive pit that they've already dug out. We've just had a bandit camp sighted right as we're about to finish this building here. Look at that. This is such an interesting building. Bandit camps are not ideal because they're going to start stealing all our resources. And these are separate to the raiders that are coming for us. The raiders are going to come in one force and basically just try and destroy everything, set fire to all our buildings, and not have a great time. The bandits are going to be somewhat parasitic towards us and use us to steal loads of our supplies. And that can be so annoying because they can steal really valuable stuff. It's not necessarily just like food or something that they might steal. Look at the saw pit now, though. Now it's done. You can see they'll lay the logs along here and then cut them and they can get the pieces down there. I think it's such a cool building. It's just really interesting to see how they would do these jobs in the olden days when they had no machinery or anything to do it with. It's very, very cool. Now let's have a look at where the bandit camp is on the map. It is, ooh, that's actually the worst place it could be. Right, so the bandit camps do steal from you. I don't think that how far away they are actually has an impact on how frequently they steal from you. But I could be wrong about that. It could be that if they're really far away, they don't steal as often. However, it's going to be a long march to get out here and fight these guys. You can see right now we do not have the numbers to take them either. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, was that 16 there? 16 brigands. So we do not have the facilities for that, big man. We need to definitely improve our strength before we take on these guys. Or we could hire some mercenaries when we get some money and let them do the dirty work for us, which may be the way to go, rather than risking our own villagers. We're doing a good job gathering logs as well, which is very good. Let's assign someone to the saw pit now. We've got 10 timber. That is probably enough. I'm going to unassign a family here and instead assign one family to the hitching post. So now Herman is going to have a dedicated family to guide him around everywhere. Oh, we can also see we've got the clothing store selling leather. That's so cool. Look at them. They're all working. We do have 51% approval as well. So we should be getting some more people into our houses. We've got 7 families and 8 spaces. I think that's just one that joined. I was going to say, I thought we had 6. We've got 7 now. That's perfect. We've got a new family. So 7 families and 8 homes. We could probably do with building some more now. Again, we've got more logs. So let's build a few more houses in here. And I think these will have some longer gardens. I think it's going to be worth us doing it. Or we could let them get progressively longer on this curve. I might do that instead. Have them finish at the same level, but the gardens will get longer as they go into this hill. Let's build 3 there. That's 6 timber, and we can hopefully welcome some more families soon. Now, who is guiding our main man Herman? We've got Margaret. She is the ox handler today. Who else is on the hitching post? We've got Tommen and Nickel. So we've got a couple of parents and their son. Now, this is one thing that I'm not sure that, again, the game is in early access. There's lots to come in this, but all of the people that I've seen have been husband and wife, and then either a son or a daughter. It would be nice to kind of pair up different combinations as well. So you could have husband and wife and wife. I understand that for reproducing in the game, you would need a male and a female, but it's not implausible that they could have found a child that, that was orphaned that they're now looking after. So I think it's potentially something that could be added to the game as a suggestion to the devs. But for now, again, it's in early access. There's so many huge mechanics they need to add to this. There's so much to come, and I'm really excited for what's in store for this game. Now, we've got 21 population, but I believe this does include the children, so they won't be fighting. It will just be the men and women. Now, if we go to army, we can create our first militia. And we've got our 20 spears and our 20 shields here. Yeah, so 14 of the 21 people. We've got 14 recruits, 14 are adults. So we can have 14 fighters, which is good. That's something. So we can create one of these militia formations. Let's create the spear militia, which we have the equipment for. And you can see we now have 14 of a potential 36 in this unit. This will keep going up as we get more families join and more recruits until we hit 20, and then we need some more weapons to be able to expand further. I think we definitely need to get to about 20 at least before the raiders come. So I'm hoping we get some more interest in our town and some more people move in. If not, we may be struggling in this fight. And the next key building I would like to build is the church. But you can see this is going to require the wooden planks that we're now getting from the saw pit. So we do need this. And the main reason for that is that this will complete the church level here. All of the other needs are being met in this level 1 plot. And what happens is if you meet all of these needs, so for us, we just need the church now. If you meet all of these needs, you can upgrade it to a level 2 plot. And at this point, each family will give you 1 wealth per month. And this is the money we're going to use for trading to get new weapons, as well as making loads of improvements to the town. Buying new livestock like ox is also something you'll use regional wealth for. And it's this money figure here. So we've currently got 50 regional wealth. This is completely separate to our treasury over here, which is our personal wealth as the ruler of the town. Now, annoyingly, I would like to hire some mercenaries, which you can do instead of creating militia. You can hire mercenaries, but you have to use your actual treasury for this, not your regional wealth. So we could afford the local thugs at the minute if we were buying with our regional wealth. However, this is all grayed out because we don't have anything in our treasury. And the easiest way to get money in your treasury is to have your regional wealth go up and then set up a taxation policy on it. But we're not there yet as a town. We are not ready for taxation. So at the minute, we're going to have to fight these raiders off ourselves and hope for the best. But you can see why we definitely want to improve our wealth generally. And having more level 2 plots is going to be huge for us to get some monthly income from our town outside of trading. Oh, one of our villagers has grabbed a spear. So everyone, when you form a militia, they are going to go to the storehouse and pick up the weapons that they need. So they're probably all grabbing their shields and their spears, and they'll take them back to their homes to store them neatly on the wall, I imagine, ready for if we ever call them. I've just noticed as well that our wild animal deposit is at 16, and I think our limit is 15 here. So we may want to move them over to start harvesting berries at some point soon. And we don't have the building for this. Let's build the forager hut in the forest over here. And you can see they're going to gather from these berry deposits. Let's put this building maybe part way into the forest. Let's have it about here. Because I don't want to uproot too many trees. Let's do 2 trees there. And then we can build a small road that joins up with the granary is probably a good idea. So something like that winds in. And then the granary worker can come and take the berries and store them in the granary. So that'll be good for us. And it'll give our people some more food types as well. At the minute, we've run out of everything else and we just have meat. So our food variety is not ideal. Oh, we do still have 6 bread. You can see there, we've got 6 bread in there. This is showing the surplus of food. So in the actual marketplace, we've got 6 meat and 6 bread on offer. So everyone is getting 2 types of food right now. But we do want that to continue. And again, you could see how this is visualized. What a cool attention to detail that you can see we only have meat hung and bread on the table there. I think it's really cool. I love the attention to detail. And the leather here as well. They're selling leather. And this is just firewood. How cool. Clicking on the marketplace is actually a great way to see the needs of your town, because if you hover over each of these icons, it will show you where we're lacking supply. And that could be that we don't have enough of the resource, or it could be that we don't have enough people working in a granary or a storehouse that have set up stalls on the marketplace. It seems like this house out here isn't really getting enough fuel. So it may be that we need someone else to make a firewood stall, and then they'd be more than covered if there were 2 stalls selling it. And you don't have to do this by making more storehouse workers. People working in the actual resource buildings, like the Woodcutter's Lodge, will set up a market stall if there's a desire for it, if there's demand for it. So at the minute, we're meeting most people's needs. Definitely the houses close by are well supplied. So these are going to be our prime candidates for leveling up. If you level up a house too early and then you fail to meet their needs, they don't downgrade back to level 1. You do start to lose approval, which you need to get more villagers in. So we don't want to be doing that if possible. Hopefully, if we time-lapse these houses being built, we'll get a new family moving in soon, and we can start to look to upgrade some of our buildings. There we go, we've got both buildings. Now we've definitely got capacity. We've got 11 living spaces and only 7 families. This is definitely enough space, and it's actually shaping up into a little town. I love it, it's so cute. I think we're still a small village. Yeah, we're a small village, we want to be a medium village. And to do that, we need to get to 2 plots that are level 2 or higher. So if we can level up 2 of these 4 right here, we should be good. And for each of these, we do need 4 timber. So it's probably a good idea. Now we've done that construction, to set the current family that was a construction family to be a logging family. Oh, I've just forgotten, we've set up our berry hut. Now let's just unassign our hunting camp worker. Oh, it looks like the deer are actually breeding faster than we're hunting them. So that's a good thing. I'm going to leave a worker on the hunting camp so we can keep bringing in the meat. And we'll maybe just unassign our... Who should we unassign? I think maybe the Sawpit workers, not essential, just so we can build the forager hut out here, and then we can put them back on getting some more planks. There we go. Look at that cute little forager hut. Should we have a look? I believe if you use the third person, you can actually go inside some of these buildings as well. So I do want to try it. Hopefully this will work. Yes, you can. Look at that. We're inside. Now, I know there's a lot of development to be done on these features, but this is very cool. And I imagine this would have berries in it if we actually started gathering stuff with it. It wouldn't just be an empty shell of a building. But it's still very cool. And I like that this is kind of like the witch's cabin in the middle of the woods. But yeah, very, very isolated forester's camp. The other good thing about the forester's hut is you can add a herb garden, which will make your villagers less likely to get sick because they'll have herbs. So we do want to do that, but it will cost half of our regional wealth. And getting another ox would cost about the same. I'm wondering whether another ox is a bit more of a priority right now than doing that. So I'm going to save our money and see where we want to spend it. I don't think any one of our villagers are currently sick, so we should be okay. Let's set our family back to work on the saw pit and hope that a new family turns up soon so we can have some more friends to play with. One thing I haven't shown you yet is there's like a 1 symbol next to our town name. If we click on this, these are town development points. So we have 1 development point from reaching the settlement level of small village, and we'll get another one when we get to medium village. So you get 1 point per increase in town size. Now, you can use these for kind of like buffs to your town. Let's say we were really interested in farming at the top. We could get an orchardry, which is another food source from getting apples from an apple orchard. We could get sheep breeding, which means that we only have to buy 2 sheep, technically, and they will breed and make a whole herd rather than having to buy each sheep individually. And then there's another one here, which is heavy plow, which I am a massive fan of, which lets us use our ox to massively reduce the amount of time our farmers need to work in the fields, because they can plow the fields and they can also bring the crops back much, much quicker than the humans can. The one I'm thinking of getting is the trade logistics, and this has been updated in the recent update. This used to cap establishing a new trade route at 25 regional wealth, but it now only cuts it in half. So some of the trade routes are very expensive, and this is probably a good change for the game because it was getting quite powerful to use. But it means that it's going to be much cheaper for us to trade for different items. Ideally, we would get all of these. Trapping could also be a great thing for us, given our really rich resource node for meat. That could be a really good one. Forest management is also good. It doubles the capacity of all of the berry deposits, which is very powerful if you have a rich berry resource node. That's very powerful. And I should note that these development points are only for this region. So if in the future we expanded and built another town over here, which actually, this is 2 regions. They both have very rich berry deposits. But let's say we moved over here and built a town here. We would have a complete reset. This region would still be able to use all the development points they had. But this one could pick completely different development points as the town levels up. So they may go for the berry deposit one, whereas we might be more inclined to go for the animal hunting one because of what natural resources you have in that region. We've just had a new family move in. Perfect. We have a free family now. And I think it might be a good idea to set them to work on the woodcutter's lodge to bring in more firewood, because we don't want that to go too low. And it's good to have a bit of a buffer on your firewood. You don't want to run out. At the minute, we've got 10 months of food and 7 months of firewood. So let's push this up as much as we can. If we can get a year supply, I'll be much happier. So they've just moved into this plot here, which is definitely a good one. They're going to be very close to the marketplace. But yes, you can see now we're on 100 or 91%. Having more people working on these, if that number went lower, the woodcutter would set up a market stall also selling firewood, and we'd have much better coverage. It seems like food variety is going to be the important one for us at the minute. And we will get that when we get the berries. So maybe it's a better idea, seeing as we do have 70 firewood still. Perhaps we should take this person off of the firewood gathering and put them on the foraging hut to bring in berries, which will give us 2 types of food for our town. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a lot of food. I'd rather have plenty of food, because firewood is very easy to acquire. This is not seasonally dependent. We just need to cut down trees. The berries will not be here in winter, and it's already October, so I definitely want to capitalize on this while we can. It could even be time to take our hunters off of here, because at the minute they're just going to be idle. They can finish up the work they're doing with what they've caught and get some hides and meat from it. But I think when they're done with this deer here, we'll remove them from the hunting camp and we'll set them to work on the woodcutter's lodge instead. Oh no, we've had some resources stolen. They've stolen 7 tools. They're actually quite valuable. So we only have 3 tools left, which is actually really annoying. I'm not completely sure what tools are even used for in the game, but I know that they could be traded for quite a lot of money. So they are definitely valuable. And it's annoying that they've taken them. I don't think we're going to rush out anytime soon. We've got 15 in our militia currently. We do not want to be taking them on when they outnumber us, for sure. We're only simple townsfolk. We don't want to be taking on some hardened fighters, do we? Okay, now I've completely taken my eye off the plank situation, and we now have 65 planks. So I'm definitely going to take the family off of this. There's so many. And we have enough to build our beautiful church. Let's do that as soon as possible. We actually lack the timber to do that. So let's put them on the logging camp, get 5 timber again, and then we can build our church in the center of our town. We've just hit 5 timber, so let's take one of the families off of the logging camp and build our wooden church. Oh, and this fits perfectly. I didn't even plan that. Wow, okay, so the church fits perfectly there. Let's whack that in. That's fate, isn't it? That has to go there. It's going to be right in the center of town. We can build all our buildings around. I do want to move the logging camp and the saw pit. They were only put there temporarily, which is why I find that so funny that lines up perfectly with the houses and everything. But we will move these and build more houses over here. You can see they've kind of destroyed this forest over here, and that's where we're going to be building anyway, which is why we put them there. But we can keep moving them further out to cut down different areas of the forest. And we do need to make a forester's hut as well here to replant the forest. So we're not just going to devastate the landscape. We are going to replenish it and make sure that everything is healthy, like we're living in harmony with our environment, because we like doing that on this channel. Look at the beautiful color of the trees as well. There's some beautiful shades of red and yellow in there. Now, I actually think let's take our family off of the logging camp and have a couple of families doing the building here, because this is a big job. I think this is probably a good time to take our hunters off of the hunting camp. They've got 15 wild animals still in the area, and we can let them breed up over the winter and replenish their numbers. And then in spring, we can probably start hunting again. Now, let's watch our beautiful church. We've got 3 families building it. Let's watch our beautiful church be built. There we go. We've got a beautiful wooden church. I love it. Now, the wooden church, the great thing about it is you could change the church bell sound. So we've got a few to choose from. Let's go for this one. I like that. If we assign a family to work here, they will bury any of our villagers that pass away in the church grounds. So we've got a nice place for them to rest. But I don't think we need to do that yet. That's not the priority. Let's make sure we have a family on the logging camp. Let's put one on the woodcutter's lodge as well. And we have some people left over. So I do think it's getting to be time that we set up trade, or at least look to do that. I'm actually going to put 2 families on the logging camp because what we need right now is timber. And we could probably upgrade the hitching post to be a small stable for 2 planks. So let's do that and get our final family to start working on this. And then we can have 2 animals at this hitching post because it will be a proper stable, ready for winter as well. Herman's going to be out from the cold. I'm going to leave the tannery open because this is providing our clothing store. So even if they run out of hides, they will be at the market and they'll be selling what they've already made. So you can see we've got 12 leather here. We want to leave them on there to do that because we've only got 1 family working at the storehouse, and we can increase this. And this would also be a good place to put more families because it will get the resources that we're gathering to our actual villagers. Look at the little stable. Isn't that cute? So now we've got space for 2 animals. We could order another ox. I'm wondering whether we do. It would probably not be the most useful thing right now, but I like that we have the capacity for it, and we will be doing this very soon. What we need to focus on is getting timber and upgrading our burgage plots, which require 4 timber per house, which is a lot. However, these are meeting all of their needs and they are eligible, so I'd like to get some money from it. Let's just assign 3 families to the logging camp and get ourselves some timber. Okay, we've got 100 days to the attack. We've got 6 timber. Let's take one of them off and start upgrading our houses. I'm going to start with this one right next to the market. Now, this is going to be a level 2 plot, which is going to pull in some money. I'm very excited about that. We still also have extra living space. We've got 11 houses and 9 families, so we don't need to worry about that too much. Look at that. That's a building and a half, isn't it? So we've swapped out our thatch roof for like a nice wooden tiled one. And look at it. So it's using a lot more wood in this construction. And now you can see they have a lot more needs. So this is a level 2 plot. We should probably upgrade their neighbor to be the same. So let's do that as well. And then we'll meet our medium village requirement. However, you can see they now need two forms of clothing and 3 sources of food. So we need 3 different types of food, which is going to be challenging to provide all of this. Also, it's worth noting that it's not just 2 random sources of clothing. It's 1 material and then 1 actual source of clothing. We need to get someone to make shoes or make clothes or make cloaks for our people. So this is a much higher level need. To do that, we're going to need money as well. So we do need to get on the money train, and this is going to help us. We've got 9 timber. I think the next thing to build after this is to build a trading post. And I'm mindful of where to build this. So you can see off the map here, we have trade points. This is where our traders are going to have to go to buy and sell the goods. And I don't know which area is closer. It might be more convenient for us to build, continue this road down here and then build the trade route along here, like perhaps a bit further down here. I think we might do that because this isn't very close either, and we're expanding the town in this area, so this should be the closest way out. I'm gonna build for the future and continue this road along here. Have it link in like this, so it kind of forks in. I like that. And then we can put our trade building, where do we want it? Trading post is probably, we want it slightly further out of town. Let's put it about here. And we've got some space for the town, but it can hopefully be near the edge. And we can always move these buildings in the future if we want. But this should shorten the distance they need to travel. So they've got a similar distance to home and to the trade point. Forager's hut is empty. We've just got a warning because it's winter now and all the berries are gone. So I'm going to actually unassign them. I know we're going to lose a market stall place here, but that's fine with me because the pantry should pick that up. And we could even have 2 families working at the granary to provide 2 different market stalls for food. I think we're okay with the one right now because they're selling both types and everyone's pretty happy. It's probably going to serve us better to build some more housing as well now. So I'm going to build in these plots here that we spoke about earlier. We can get 3 in here. And actually, I will build these here too, because there's an interesting symbol here. What the symbol means is that you can have 2 families living in one plot. So we'll do that for these 3 here. And then we've got 4 families can live in these 3 plots here. We're going to have some weird shaped gardens. Yes, we've got the 2 buildings now. So we've just upgraded our town to a medium village, which is perfect for us. We also can see we've got another coin. So this house has given us one when we moved into December. So now we should get 2 coins every month. And if we keep upgrading our buildings, this number will really, really amp up as we go. However, trading is still going to be our biggest money maker, and I do want to get that trade post up and running as soon as we can. I'm going to actually set the trading post to be high priority so that our construction workers will build that before they build these houses here, because we've got 10 families and 11 buildings already built. So we still have space for 1 more family before we build any of these new plots here. And there it is, the trading post is finished. So now we've built this, we can have a look at our trade routes and see how much everything will cost. If we go into the trade tab, you can see that all of the items that can be traded have been sorted by their type. And also you can see the export price for these items on the left-hand side. So that's what we can sell the items for. And then on the right-hand side of the slash, you can see the import price, which is how much we can buy them for. The only other thing to note is this number on the right-hand side, which is how much it costs to set up a trade route for that material. And this is quite significant. So you can see we have 51 regional wealth. We couldn't afford to set up a trade route for roof tiles or blocks, which are pretty basic construction goods. We could set up some routes for some crops and for food. However, what we really want to set up trade routes for is the military items, and these are very expensive. So it's 70 to buy any spears, and that's before you buy the spears. After this one-off payment of setting up the trade route, we then have to pay 17 for each individual spear. So this is a very expensive game. So for a large shield and spear set that we need to get 1 more warrior, that's what, 17 plus 16, which is 33, I believe, per warrior. So this is going to be very pricey. We're currently at 19 warriors though, which is good, and we've got 65 days to make a bit more money. I don't know if we can do it, but I'm gonna pray that we can before the raiders get here. Now, one thing I want to do, which is going to make all of the trading much easier, is to go into our development points, and I'm going to get the trade logistics development. So this is going to cut all of those costs, the initial one-off costs, in half. We've now got that. If we go into our trading post and we go to trade, you can see these are much cheaper to get now, and we can actually afford to set these up for roof tiles and blocks. And the spears and the large shields are much more affordable. They're still expensive, but they're much more affordable. Currently, we don't have anything to trade, so I'm not actually going to assign anyone to the trading post, but I did want to check out those prices. What we do want to do is get something that's actually worth selling. Given our natural resources, we have a rich clay deposit here. That's a lot of clay that we can gather from this point. And one of the items that we just looked at was roof tiles, which are made from clay. Now we can sell these for 8 per roof tile. So getting 8 coins per roof tile is a really good rate. When you consider that if we sold the planks we've made, it'd only be 2. We'd have to sell 4 planks for the same as 1 roof tile, which just isn't worth it to me. So in order to make roof tiles, we need to first set up a mining pit on our clay deposit. So that's this one over here. So I'm going to do that now. Build this clay deposit over here, which is only cost 1 timber. And then we can set up a little road that comes along here. And our workers can use this to get to the clay pit. And then we need to set up another building which actually makes the roof tiles. So that's in the industry tab. There's a clay furnace, and we need 5 stone in order to be able to build this. So we're missing 5 stone. However, once we have this, we can convert our clay into clay roof tiles. And lucky for us, the stone deposit is right next to the clay deposit. So we can get a stone cutter's camp out here too. And we can use the road that we've already set up for this. So let's put a stone cutter's camp nearby. You don't want to put this one on top of the resource because it will destroy the stones. But let's put it nearby, and then we can build a road that connects up with this one here. I actually think that's quite ugly, so I'm going to delete these roads and probably set up a slightly different one that looks a little bit nicer. There we go. I think that's a bit better. It's a bit more aligned to the actual shape of the mining pit. So they can build both of these, and then we can get a little bit of stone. Stone is really quick to gather, so I'm not worried about that. And it's not something we're going to be working on very often, so it doesn't matter that it's very far away from the town. The mining pit could be closer. That's not an ideal distance, but it is definitely doable, and I think we can afford to make that walk distance. It looks like we're finishing up with our housing over here too, which is giving us a bit more capacity. So we're going to have 14 houses, which is definitely good for us. And we've got a new family that's moved in as well. This is perfect. We're getting lots of workers. We're going to probably want one family to work in the mining pit and then another family to work in the clay furnace. So we need to reserve 2 in our minds for that. Okay, they finished building the houses over here. They are probably starting work on the mining pit and the stone cutters camp. So we can watch these go up. Okay, we've set up the stonecutters camp. Let's assign a family here, and let's assign one in the mining pit. And then we should be able to get the clay furnace. I'm very scared. There's only 22 days until the raiders get here. But we do have our 20, because another family has just moved in. We have our 20 warriors at least. I don't know if we'll be able to get any more weapons by then. We may just have to hope and pray that 20 is enough to fend off the attackers on our village. And it looks like our market's doing really well as well. You can see we've got a number of stores now, which should be meeting everyone's needs. We could probably also look to upgrade these houses, but I want to get the construction workers prioritizing the roof tiles. So let's get a couple of families actually working in the stonecutters camp right now. And you can see we've already got 6 stone, and it's been like 1 day in game. So it's very quick to gather these. I'm actually going to unassign one of them. We might as well leave them to gather a bit more stone. But let's get this clay furnace. I want to put this close by to the clay, because that's where they can draw from. So I could put it here, or I could put it in the storehouse. But I would rather they draw it from here. And we can maybe have another storage building, like another storehouse out here. That means that our storehouse workers don't have to walk all the way to get these materials. That's probably a better shout. If we had one near here, we could then use it for the iron as well. So let's do that. Let's have our clay furnace out here. Let's have this building next to the mining pit. And then let's build another storehouse out here next door to the clay furnace. And this will be used for the stones, it will be used for the clay, and it will be used for the iron. It means that this storehouse in here can hold all the stuff that we're going to be selling in the marketplace, but it doesn't need to hold all the construction items that are really far away. So now we know that we can make roof tiles. We can actually establish this trade route with 40 wealth, which is most of our wealth. If we establish this, we can now sell, we can export any roof tiles we have. So this is how the import and export works, is you can set everything to import, export, or full trade. If you import, you can choose a desired surplus that you want. So let's say you wanted like 5 roof tiles, and every time a trader came by that had roof tiles, they would sell until your current surplus of roof tiles was 5. So you can do the same with export, where we currently, if we say we don't want any, our desired surplus of roof tiles is 0, then when we acquire roof tiles, they'll come into the current surplus on the left, and then whenever a trader comes, they'll just buy all of our roof tiles. We could set aside a limit, like, oh, we actually want to hold back 10 roof tiles. We never want to have fewer than 10 roof tiles in our town because we're going to use them for stuff. At this point, you set the desired surplus as 10, and then it will make sure that they don't sell above 10. At the minute, we just want to sell anything we make on these. And this is going to get us a lot more money so that we can establish the other trade routes and then start to buy some spears and large shields. So hopefully this will be a good money maker for us because it's 8 coins per roof tile. So that is a pretty good rate that we've got. And we're almost done building the buildings. We've only got 5 days left for the raid though. So I do not think we're going to have time to build these before the raid happens. And I think we're going to leave the raid for the next video to see if we survive. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one.